I'm working off a table, and when we started, we had all these things in mind, and now we have completed what is Notion. We have completed how to download Notion, and we are in progress of the courses and admission, right? And then how do you keep track of those things? So I will show you how we create this. Once you open Notion, this is the kind of screen that you get, like a getting started things. You can invite your team members, you can click sidebars, you can use templates. This is the most exciting part of Notion, that it has so many templates ready that it's almost done for you. So we'll go back to our go back to our section about courses and admission. So let's create a page, yeah, on Notion, which is your starting page, and let's put down what are the things that you want. You could create a table, for example, and write down what you need to do. For example, you need to do your courses, you need to keep track of your networking, or maybe this could be the courses, right? So let's say you want to do a particular course in data analytics, maybe from General Assembly, and from an institute. There are a few options that you want to consider: Institute 2, Institute 3, and then you can create tags. For example, tags for data science, or data analytics, or just plain Python, right? So let me just correct my spelling.
You can put other institutions in there if you want.
No, I don't want to.
Do York U. Do York U. Put York U in there.
Yeah. Actually, I want to show people how I create a table, but I want to take them back. So these are some of the simple tasks. You want to create a table in an Excel, right? You can create a table right in within this courses section. One of the challenges in Excel is that you can only create tables. You can't create much. So what do you do? Let's say if you want to create some kind of text outside of it. So let's say you want to write content within General Assembly. There are notes that you want to take, which are extensive notes. All you need to do is just click on this open page and then write whatever content that you want to write, right? And then within this also you can, for example, create a page in itself, a to-do list, right? Check out 1, check out 2, check out 3. Or, for example, you want to create another form of content, which is maybe a link. Maybe you want to create a table inside, and then so what Notion does is it gives you the ability to create multiple formats within the page. And like your mind, it creates these links within links, which are in a hierarchy, which is similar to how your mind consumes or stores data. So for example, here we are. Let's say we were in this courses and admissions. So we go into this page, we create, we use a template. We can use a template. It will allow you, just a moment, excuse my, so yeah, you use a new template, and wow, where did the templates go? Okay, how about we use a template from here? Okay, so on the left hand side, you'll see a list of templates, right? When you click on that, you can come here to education, and you can use this one, which is a job application, and then put down all your templates, right? Put down all the applications. So okay, here it says Slack, Notion Labs, various organizations. This could be the names of your institution. So we can easily change the name here to say institution, You can put this the stage. So the stage could be you are ready to apply, you are in round 1, you are in the interview stage. You can put the name of the course, for example, within those institution. And then the best part is you can change this and bring it here. So you know the institution, you know the course, you know what are the due dates, for example, here, what stage you are in. If you need to add a resume, if you need to add any other documents, yeah, you can use this template. You can discard the edits, but save the template. Yeah. So this becomes your course admissions, right? And you can follow through, create new admissions. For example, University of Toronto. Could be that you are still researching the position is, maybe the course is for, say, management analytics, and then you have a due date. You can also create one, for example, with gray, and so you create analytics. So as you see, you can edit things on the go. You can create templates on the go. The due date, the best part is you can, it's a calendar form. So let's say the due date is 10th of December, right? You can add whatever, you can add a URL, and within the University of Toronto, if you need to add more details, you can put those things right away, right here. These are various elements which you can change. These are driven from the other columns in the table, right? So you can see all of that within this as well. So yeah.
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
So do you you use Notion to organize like the education content you're taking? So if you come to GA workshops, are you putting them here that you've completed them or doing them, or how do you like manage your education?
Yeah. So I do exactly that within my personal Notion space. I have a space which I call courses. And what I do is every time I research courses, there are two things. One is that I have thought of a course that I want to attend, but which is on a later date. So how do I ensure that I don't forget it, whether it's paid or free? And the other is the one that I'm already taking. So for example, there is a course that you want to do in the university, and it's a full-fledged course, so you are still applying for that course. So you go through all of that, and whatever information you need to put within that, you can add all of that as your reminder. The other option is when I take a course, let's say I take a course with a General Assembly on Adulting 101, and there are a few points that I'm really interested in. So what I would do is, let's say I'll create this and I'll say Adulting 101, and all the notes that I have, I would put them here. So for example, if I want to place a link, I can take a link, right? And I can copy a link from the website, and then I can just place it and then embed that link. So I know the background of the course, right? That I did. Then I will create a new text, right? Yeah. So I can talk about who the instructor was. So let's say it will be Josh at ga.com, right? I have that email address. Then I'll start taking notes. So when I take notes, I can convert this to bullet points. Yeah. And I'll say sleep on time, eat on time, right? I mean, I know these are basic things, but so you have a bullet list. Now let's say within sleep on time, there was more content that came on, right? So I can convert this into a page. Sorry, I can convert this. When you click on this dotted thing, you can convert it into a page. It says turn into a page. And then when I click within it, I can add more content. I can say, go to bed by 9 p.m., have eat dinner by 7 p.m., you know. So
I think this is really powerful because like all of our instructors give a lot of information
yeah,
about technical information, they give you content, they give you links to important resources. So what
yeah,
you've done is said, I took a course at General Assembly.
yeah,
This is the course name of
yeah,
what it is. You've linked to it here.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then you have like the key takeaways. And then within
yes,
that, like
yeah,
a key takeaway, like let's say you did intro to data science,
yeah,
data analytics, sorry.
yeah,
And within that, you'll go through Excel, you might talk about SQL, you might talk about these different topics.
yes,
Then what you can do is actually go and build pages
yes,
of those different
yes,
content and then
yes,
save it here.
yes,
Wow.
yes,
This is amazing. I
yeah,
actually think everyone who comes to a GA workshop or signs up for multiple pieces of content should organize their life this way
yeah.
because it's really good. I like
Yeah,
this.
yeah, and think of it as a mind map. Have you heard of this concept called mind map, where there's a central idea and then you create neural
Yes.
ideas? So it's almost like that. So you created
Yes.
a central idea of course admissions, for example. Then within that there were the applications. Within the applications there was adulting. Within
Yeah.
adulting there were 5 topics, right? So similarly, when uh, like a lot of people go out and network with people in the industry, right? But how do you keep track of them? How do you ensure that they are all in the right space? Like if you create an Excel table out of it, then there's only so much information that you can put. You can maybe talk about
Yes.
their names, you can talk about when you met them, but let's say if during the conversation you found out that their favorite food is, for example, poutine, and or that their birthday is in December, or that they enjoy something, like how do you capture that information? It becomes pretty tricky to do that in Excel, but you can do it very easily in networking. For example, let's go to a networking. You create a new template, right? And sorry, you don't create a template, you actually use a template. There is a template already. So you go to templates and you go to so when you click on the templates tab, you get like a repository of templates which are sorted into easily retrievable sections. So you go to personal and you do something called as personal education, and you do something like personal CRM. Okay, so basically this is a ready-made template that you can use right away, right? And then it gives you a sense of the people that you're meeting. So let's say you meet Anne. She's in your college and she's also part of Inner Circle. What was the last update you had? Well, she recommended a course on computer sciences. And when was the last time you contacted her? You can also decide whether it's a professional contact. Yes, she is a professional contact, so you'll tick that, right? And then when you click, you can also add more details about Anne when you
So
click.
one thing I want to back up real quick. It's important to explain the importance of this. So especially when you're job searching or
Yeah,
you're active on LinkedIn, you have a lot of opportunity to reach out to people and say, "Hey, tell me about your day-to-day job, what you do," and you then network into certain organizations. This is a great way to kind of manage all those connections.
yeah, yes,
So you personally, actually, you and I had a chat, and that's what actually led to this.
yes.
So maybe tell us a bit about like how many different people are in your CRM per se,
Yeah.
and how many different people do you connect with every day?
Yeah. So I would say that I have at least 75 people on my personal CRM. And these are people that I have met while I was actively networking in Canada in the last 6 months. People that I don't know don't know of from my previous life in Dubai or in India, right? These are new contacts made in Canada. Obviously, most of them I have met is on a Zoom call or on a phone call. So it's not humanly possible to keep all that information in my mind, right? So I try to put them out in these contact lists. So for example, the first time I met Josh, it was at a session, right? And then I connected with him there. So I put the name of the organization, so you can easily, for
Do I
example.
get an inner circle tag?
Yes, absolutely. So you can easily create like a tab here and then change it from a property. You can keep it as a text. You can put it as a person. You can, have multiple selections, checkbox or a URL. Like it's so easy to format the content within each of these tables, to what you need. So, which is not a feature that you may find, for example, in Excel, right? You may get some, but not all. So for example, let's call this organization, right? And so, yeah, General Assembly. And then what are my associations? So maybe easy, you can use this as you like some people may want to segregate it based on the industry, right? Some people may want to base it based on the job description. Some may want to segregate it based on you know um,
Could be clients.
clients or colleagues, or the nature of that relationship. So you add that. So let's say I would say Josh is my colleague. Okay. While this does not exist, you can easily create it here, right? And then what was my last update? We did a workshop together, and the beauty of this particular template is that it has created a formula that after every few, you can decide how much time, after every few months, it will give you a nudge here on the status, whether you should reach out
Wow.
or not, right? So for example, here it says if more than 3 months have passed since the last time you contacted the person, you will see time to reach out. So for example, I met Anne, or I contacted Anne in August 2019, which is more than 3 months, right? Ago. So it will say time to reach out. But let's say Josh, I spoke to Josh on, we can experiment with this now. So let's say I spoke to Josh on 1st of October, which is fine. But if I were to speak to Josh on, let's say, 4th of July, it says time to reach out. So, it kind of automates that decision making also for you, that, okay, it's been such a long time that I haven't spoken to Josh. Let me reach out to him. And I'll give you a live example. This Thanksgiving, I wanted to make it a point to really thank people who have spent time, giving me some insights into the workplace here. And what I did is I went to my personal CRM. I looked at everybody. There were about 60 odd people in there at that time. And, based on whether I messaged them on LinkedIn, or on most of them on LinkedIn and some of them on email as well, I sent them a quick note saying, hey, thank you. Because I had the CRM available to me on my phone. Notion also has a phone app. I was able to do this while I was not in front of my computer. So, it helps you to build your relationship and gives you the nudge and the prompt on when you need to do things. You can also filter, like for example, if you just want to see people sort. So when you click on sort, right, here it's giving you all on sort for all contact, but you can change that to, for example, last contacted, right? And then it will give you, okay, these are only 3 people, maybe last contacted is not a great thing, but let's sort them from organization. So if you have people from a certain organization that you have spoken, many people that you've spoken over a period of time, and you want to know, okay, who are all the people in General Assembly that I know? So if you just sort them, you can find that right away. So what I love about this is that you can use this data in any way that you want. You can add as much as you want and retrieve it in the format that suits you best.
So this is a personal CRM, which I think is useful for almost every small business, anyone who's managing a sales funnel. Like, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
In the context of job searching, what I think this is really interesting is you got to have like a living kind of platform where all your past interactions live, but more importantly, it has logic behind it. So I love, can you adjust the, like, you last spoke or the nudge piece? Like, I'm assuming you can adjust the time and build out that logic.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
Absolutely. So just below the template, there is this Notion notes section, which says how this template works. So they have used this formula. Can you see this section? Yeah, we have used this formula in the status column of the above, which is I think code, which says that the date is between now and the last spoke is in months. So maybe which is 3, but maybe what if you do it as 6 months, right? So then it has to be time to reach out. Okay. So when you
That's
change
great.
that, yeah. So for example, let's look at Josh, maybe we'll rechange the dates. Okay. So let's say Josh, I spoke to you 1 month ago. So let's say beginning of October, and this, let's make it August 2020, and let's make this January. So you can edit on by text, or you can go to the calendar format and do that as well. So as you see, like, January is is more than 6 months. So you have a time to reach out. Whereas August and October are less than 6 months. So we can also change it to, let's say, days, right? And maybe make it like 15 days, right? And let's say we change our discussions with Josh on 14th, and this becomes yeah. So okay, maybe days does not work, maybe months works.
But that's all right. The important
Yeah.
thing here, though, also is when you're job searching. So for those who are on the stream who are job searching, it's really a complete numbers game. If you apply to a handful of jobs and you're like, oh, I'm going to get 1 of 3, honestly, it's very difficult to do that. However, if you have a funnel of 50 jobs, and then you get 5 interviews, and then you get 2 offers, like, you got to look at your job search as a funnel. And that's kind of what we're doing here. Is you can go and say, look, like, here are my 50 opportunities. These are 50 people that I've built relationships with. You're managing that here. This could be this is a very powerful tool for those job searching. I'm trying to help the audience kind of conceptualize, all right, how can I use this and use this functionality? Like, where can I put it? The other thing with the tags is really cool is because you can say, I've only ever met these people on LinkedIn. So you have a LinkedIn tag. I've only ever meet these people at meetups or within this community. And that way you can sort that.
Yeah, absolutely. And for jobs, there is a dedicated template for job application. So if you go to the personal and you go on the job applications, right? And you use this template and you create this special page, right? So here you can keep your current resume, your cover letter, or a framework cover letter, and the portfolio. So whatever is the text, right? You choose a file and you upload it. You choose a file and you upload it. You choose a link or a file or whatever and upload it here. And then you keep a track of all the organizations. You can talk about which stages you are in, if you were offered a job, or you were in stage 1, or you were rejected. So over a period of time, you will be able to see what kind of jobs are you getting some traction in. You will get to see different positions. For example, let's say it was not a software engineering, this was maybe another position for analytics. Okay. And then like that, you do a related field. So you know how they say about transferable skills. So you may be a communications professional, but you could be a content writer, or you could be a marketing manager, or you could be, admissions advisor, right? These are transferable skills. So when you are applying for jobs, which are not all the same titles, but you can put those positions, and later when you want to analyze, maybe you are getting a lot more traction from content writing roles, because that's what is in high demand right now. So you know that you will have a higher success rate. You also know when you applied for this. So I think some companies have some kind of restrictions that you can only apply for 3 jobs in a year in that organization, or 5 jobs in a month in that organization. So you can see that, okay, I applied for this role maybe last year, so I can reapply for another position. You can also attach the exact resume that you had tailored for this position, so that next time when you're applying for another analytics position, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just use that and then tailor it, right? Similarly for the cover letter. And then you can create a URL. And if there are other things, like for example, job description, you can add the job description here as a page, right? So notes on the company, and then just add a page, and then which would be, let's say, description analytics, and then you can put the whole.
You can just paste it in there.
Or yeah, you can, I mean, you can paste it in there. You can either paste the link itself or you can paste it as text. I advise that paste it as text because sometimes links expire. So you may lose access to that, right?
And there's another important piece here. When you bring your job description in like this, you get to see all the data or the words inside it. And this is something a lot of people don't think about is when you're applying to jobs and you're trying to look at that job description, you have to pull keywords out of it. So if it's talking about data analytics and the position's talking about SQL and you have that skill, like your application has to have everything to do with SQL. Where you learned SQL, how you've used it, projects you've worked on, the length you've used SQL. So those are ways that you can bring it in here. I'm assuming you could search for those keywords.
Yes, absolutely.
And pull together and kind of tailor your resume as you apply.
Yeah. So there is a search functionality, as you can see here, right? And okay, let's write something within this so that we can see the search functionality. Does it show up or not? Okay. So when you open here and let's say so these are some questions that they've already proposed, which you can use to, think a little more deeply about the role. And let's say in the JD, it talks about SQL and Python and let's say
Excel.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Excel. Yeah. So these are 4 words which I don't think are available in the in the table outside, right? So when we are in this table, we can't see. So let's search and let's see if we can find SQL. Okay. So no. So the search functionality works only for the upper table.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So search,
I'm wondering if okay. That's still pretty powerful because in the job description on the actual company, I mean, you could drop it in there at the kind of upper level, or you could actually tag it. Sorry. Yeah. Like you have analytics here. Like if you search for analytics, it would show up.
Yeah. Or for example, here you have position, right? So here you can create another column, insert right, and you can write technical skills.
Yes, it's just going to say skills.
And then you can just write SQL. Yeah. This one. Sorry. So this is a text. So this is a good example. So initially it created as a text, but I can change the property to say multi-select, right? And then when I say multi-select, SQL becomes one tag, and then Excel becomes another tag. And then let's say this one needs Python, right? So over a period of time, when you go through all the jobs that you've applied for, and in your particular case, let's say in communications, is whether it was internal communications or external communications or membership communications. So we can pick those key components of that job application and create as many different filtration features as possible.
So we have a question here. If you're asking questions, please drop in the Q&A, because if it's in the chat, it gets lost sometimes. But Bash here says, this is fantastic. They're in the same boat with a personal CRM. Does the app send email or mobile notifications?
This is not a feature that I have explored yet, and I know that this feature, the app that we are using right now, is a fully free version. So that may be a possibility in the paid version, but I have not used the paid version yet. However, what you can do is you can download the mobile app, right? And sometimes, when you are, let's say, at home browsing or wherever, browsing on LinkedIn, and you see a position that you want to bookmark, right? So you can actually, on the mobile app, press the share button on the web page. It basically works as a web clipper. Press the share button, and then you can actually choose on which page it will go to. So you can actually choose, let's say, your job application page, and it will give you notes at the bottom. So whenever you open Notion next time, you can actually, you can actually work with the content, place it where you want to place it, and do whatever is necessary out of it.
Bash, I just dropped in the chat Notion's support around notifications. So they do send push notifications around things like when you get tagged. It looks like when shares, comments, So there's a lot of collaboration related stuff here, but I'm sure some of that logic you can build notifications around. But
Yeah,
if you read it there,
that
you'll find it.
within the team or the paid subscription, you can actually create teams. So if you are doing this with a set of people, let's say you're working on a project together, you will be able to tag people. And actually, there is this function here. You can see share. So you share, and you can actually invite people to collaborate. And based on their email address, you have to share an email address, and they will get an email notification. The best part is that they can make edits in this, and they can also leave comments which are written in the sequence that they were made, so time according to the timeline. So you can actually read questions from people. So it gives you that review function of Word as well, where you can leave comments on things and then resolve things on the go.
So go back to your first flow. You had a list of different things that you were, yes. Yeah. So we talked about what Notion was, how to download it. We talked about course and admissions networking. Now you have personal goals.
Yes. Yes.
And honestly, 2020, everyone's personal goals went out the window. So if you're on the stream and said your personal goals have gone to whatever, like, don't worry, we're here.
Absolutely. So there's a template for personal goal as well. So if you click on templates, and if you click on personal, I will encourage everybody to go through the other templates as well and see what fits best for you.
What I love about the templates is that you can actually edit the template in the template section and then bring it into your live environment. That's incredible.
Right. Yeah. So when you go on personal, and then there's a goal, right? So let's say these were your goals. Like you can create them by status, like, I want to contribute more to your pension, land a freelance job, work, exercise 3 times a week, learn French, do the various things, right? So before we get into the goals, I would like you to see this life wiki. So it's basically an overview of what you want your life to be. You know how they say about designing your life and making a life board and things like that. So you can actually do that. You can write your goals, you can write your reading list, you can write your habit tracker, travel planner, which
so you're starting one level above.
Exactly. So this is basically a wiki for your life, and it helps you to kind of correlate everything as it stands today. So other than the professional things, from a personal point of view, you in this template you have a section on goals that we saw already. Then you want to, let's say there's a reading list, and interestingly now reading lists are no longer books. They could be articles or
white papers,
right? So you when you go through a reading list, you can, if it's of something of interest to you, to write down books that you've read. You can write down what that type was. It was a journal or a podcast or an article, the link to it. What is your status? Did you like it? I'm not sure how many people want to get into the details of that reading list, but for those who enjoy reading and want to keep track of how their reading goes, this is a great.
This might be good for like entrepreneurs though, because there's a lot of business podcasts out there, so you can list them, and then go back to the reading list there. So it doesn't have to be reading; it could be audio. Yeah. And you star it, so you could kind of find out like at scale, like what you enjoyed versus what is not enjoyable. And then you can kind of focus on that content.
Absolutely. And even from a personal, for example, let's say you are preparing to study data sciences, and you are not sure yet if you are okay to spend all that money, those into that course. So you want to read up about it a little bit. So you can read books, you can read journals, you can read articles, and you can make your notes. So you can make notes here about, let's say, this contribution of neural networks, whatever, and you make your notes about that particular reading itself, right? Because you are kind of trying to assess whether this is for you. And all of us do a lot of research, and it doesn't have to be a reading list. For example, you are planning to buy a new laptop, and you want to write down the points of what are those 4 different laptops that you're considering, right? And this can change into the price point, this can change into the score on, let's say, Amazon, and any other features that you want to list down, right?
So let's go back to the goals.
Yeah. So let's go back to the goals, right? Habit tracker, for example. have I run this week? Have I meditated? Whatever hours of sleep, journaling. You take a glance and how are you doing with your own personal habits, and this could be anything. For example, running could be actually cycling, or working out in a gym, or for example swimming when the weather allows, right? So that's from an overall growth and goals point of view. And from a planning point of view, let's say you want to travel, right? These are your, let's say you're traveling between April 30th and 5th May, all the things that you need to know while you're traveling, right? This is an optional map if you want to get a sense of the place, but this tells you everything that you have at least planned for: where you will stay, where you will visit, lunch options, dinner options. This is for those who like to plan their trips a lot. This could be that, right? And then let's go back, and then task list. Then this is a simple task list that you need to get done without any particular order. So you plan to go hiking, you want to run, something as simple as calling mom, right? We need reminders for that. So, or things that you need to do. So this is a really random list of things that you need to finish, because we have to live the life. So that, and then you can, this brings us to the next point of the week ahead. So you can actually write down your task list for the week ahead and what you want to do over the weekend. And this could be a live document. So every time you finish something, you can strike it off, or you can change something. Let's say call parents instead of grandparents. So yeah, so this is the Life Wiki template that allows you to do all of that. And we already discussed discard the ed templates, and we already discussed these points here. And in your task list, yeah, we've discussed this. Personal home. So your yearly goals, for example, in life, my yearly goal is to, become a data scientist. So how do you achieve that? You can add that, right? Okay, here it's do yoga, read books.
How do you look at goal setting? Do you sit down once a quarter or at the beginning of a year? Like when you are thinking about goal setting, how do you do it personally? I've seen your version of Notion, like your personal version. Obviously, you didn't want to put all your personal contacts on the screen and whatnot, which is totally fair. But like when you are sitting down with Notion yourself, how are you thinking about goal setting?
So goal setting for me is an evolving exercise. It's not something that I do at the start of the year, and not something that I assess at the end of the year. As time, we have to be adaptable and agile. The world around us is changing so quickly. So when I look at goal setting, I try to think of what I want to achieve, and then I break it down. So let's say, for example, I want to run a full marathon, a 42-kilometer run, let's say in 2 years' time from then. That's a long time to plan for it. Or let's say 1 year from now. So next summer, I want to run a marathon. So then I will, that will be the end outcome. And then I'll build the process underneath it, which will be mostly quarterly, and then weekly, and then what I need to do today. So, what is it that I need to do today so that I can run that full marathon next summer? So that's how I plan for my goals. I also try to keep goals in 4 or 5 pillars of health primarily, then career, and then finances. So these are 3 pillars under which I write down my to-do tasks this week, so that I can achieve that in a month's time or a year's time.
Cool. And just go to the goals template real quick.
This one is just plain simple. What are the
you
goals?
do it at a pretty high level, but if you do it on the goals one, you can actually get like really deep there.
Exactly. So, the best part is that, let's say you take this template and then you put a page in here. So you can turn this, for example, read 50 books. You can turn this into a page, right? Turn it into a page. Okay. And then let's save edits. Okay. So this has become okay. So this has become my, so this is the yearly goal. one of them is read 50 books, which I have now turned it into a page because it has what I need to do within that reading 50 books, right? So let's say I need to, I can make a table or a to-do list. Easiest to do a list.
Or you can import a template from there. So if you go back actually,
okay.
and you click
So let's do
templates,
that.
you can bring that reading template into this, right?
Yes, exactly. So let's say we do, yeah, and maybe new, and then yeah, you can bring it from a template.
So it's actually if you go back.
Yeah, I think I'll have to go back to that.
So go read back again. So read 50 books. When you click on that originally, so click on that page.
Yeah.
I thought I saw it there when you
Yeah.
landed on it.
Yeah.
Okay, it used to have there that you could add like a pull in the template to fulfill this. So like when you're goal setting, I think a lot of people get stuck at like, what do I do next? So if you say read 50 books, you come to this app and then boom, you can just pull the template in and get started as it's in your mind.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
So I think I know how to do that. So you go to templates, for example, and you create this reading list page.
Yeah, like you could pull the reading list right in there.
Okay. So you have created this. So when you create this, so you have this reading list here, right? So then you click on move to, right? And then you can move it into your personal home. Is it under personal home? So it's already in personal CRM. No, hang on.
You go down to your personal home.
1 second. I think we did not create that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's here, right? So then you can drag it inside to the yearly goals, and then you can drag it inside to the read 50 books. So now you have it within the reading list, right? You can click all of this, right? These are the books that you want to read. At the same time, you can, make a habit. For example, you can make a habit. For example, I will read one book a week, right? And then I will read, let's say, from 9 to 10 p.m. every night, every evening. So now you know that to be able to achieve 50 books by the end of next year, what you need to do today is to read for 1 hour every day so that you can finish a book in a week. And then you have 2 weeks of, buffer. That could be your holiday season or when you're traveling and when you may not be able to commit to a book. So this is why it works well for me, because it not just allows me to see what I want to do, but how I want to get there.
Absolutely.
Do we have more questions?
There's a question about interface with the calendar apps. I'm assuming that's like Google Calendar. Do you know if it has any integration?
Yes, it does. So for example, let's say we have this reading list page. Yeah. And there is an option to import. Let's say turn it into add as a sub page. Okay, and then calendar. So first is you can create your own calendar, but then there is also a way to import it. Import your Google Calendar. I will share the tutorial from Notion on how to do it. It takes a few steps, but that calendar has to become public so that Notion can access it. So that's a choice that you have to make. Are you okay with your personal calendar becoming public? Then you can import it into Notion, because if it's under privacy settings, then Notion may not be able to read it.
And you do that on like the Google end.
Yes, you do it. Yeah, do it on the Google end, where you give you open the privacy setting on Google, and then you pull it in here. So it will give you everything that you need to do. It takes less than 5 minutes to do it. I will circulate that. I don't remember it at the off, and also don't want to integrate my private calendar on a public screen. Yeah.
We can send that in the follow-up email. We'll send the tutorial from Notion. Cool.
Yeah. So you have two choices. You can create your own calendar in Notion. And if you want to save the hassle of, creating multiple calendars, you can use your Google Calendar to be integrated in Notion.
Fantastic. You want to go back? What else did you have on your workflow there at the beginning?
Yeah, let's go back to this. So yeah, so we finished personal goal, right? This is the way you can organize your tasks and things also. Like for example, now you have a weekly, you want to create a weekly to-do list. There is a template again. So if we go to templates, the reason I'm giving you templates upfront is because then it becomes easy for you to personalize it. You can change the font, you can change the color, you can add your own personal touch. It doesn't have to be black and white, although I prefer it this way. But you can, for example, add a different cover. You can add a cover so you get this broad thing. You can change the cover. You can upload your own personal choice image, or you can link it from somewhere. And Unsplash has lots of lots of color. Let's say we have something for Halloween, right? So yeah, maybe this could be your, if you are into things like this, you can reposition this cover and adjust it so that it allows you a room for personalization. You don't have to look at black and white.
This is really good, because one other use case for this is if you're an employee who has a boss and you're working remote. I think one thing that we've all struggled as employees is like, how does our boss feel that we are being productive? And so as an employee, you have to kind of prove that, because your boss can't see you through your webcam. They can't see what you're doing every day. You don't just show up at 9 a.m. and go home at 5 anymore. You have to look at things like metrics and even things like this. Like, if you're sitting with your boss and you're not using a tool like this to say, hey, here's what I'm working on, this is how I'm tracking all my data, here's my metrics, here's my CRM at work, and you're kind of organizing your work life with something like this, I think that's a really great opportunity. And if you can make it look beautiful, because what Notion's done here is they made it simple and they made it beautiful. If you can do those things, I think you'll look like a really great and organized employee.
Absolutely. And for example, if let's say you're working on 4 or 5 different things for different brands, right? Let's say you're in an agency and you are working, let's say, on brand A, B, C. You can use your workspace and customize it to that particular brand, so that visually you know that this is the workspace of a brand X, and then you don't get confused between that. You can also change this little icon here and put an emoji if you wish, or put a logo that you wish, or you can remove it totally if you're not into those kind of things. So it allows you this customization on so many levels that no two Notion can be similar. It's almost like the Apple devices, you can customize it in a way that works best for you. So we were talking about the week, right? The to-do list. So let's go back, and in the personal, so this is a task list and weekly planner. Where is the weekly planner? Can you see?
I think it was in one of the other tabs there. So you had personal. Does it allow you to search?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on. You can also browse more templates. So it will take you to the Notion template site.
That's right. Live demos are never super simple. And for those tuning in, like, Notion is a brand new tool. The Notion Toronto community, which I'm actually going to grab the link for everyone.
Yeah.
Is like only 40 people for all of Toronto. So it's pretty small.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So if you go on to the browse more templates, you will have a world full of templates, remote work templates, back to school templates. And you can these are templates primarily created by the community that you can use. So for example, for students and educators, if you're planning a course, the schedule of the course, you can really use this with very minimal customization, make it work for you the way you want it.
So I'm actually going to share my screen real quick. Okay. So I want to show the Notion community. So right here is the Notion Slack. And what I thought really interesting about this environment is like, look at this. I can't pronounce that name. That's a Piergiorgio. But this Notion member here actually built a like a template. So there's like community generated templates, I think is amazing. And so you can kind of come in here and see what this designer did and how to use it. And it's linked there. So I'm going to invite everyone to the Slack as well, where you can find all those templates.
Yeah. And for those who are starting out new, I would like to say that don't get overwhelmed with what Notion can do. I would say take one template, make it work for you. And then, you can add more templates. You can create as many pages as you like, and you can put them under each pages. So you could have really your top level Notion workspace, which is just 2 or 3 pages. And then underneath it, you will have a series of pages, right? So yeah, don't get worked up. Hang on, I can't find the weekly. Is it the task list? Let's see. No, we went through this. Quick note, personal home. Task list journal. For those who like to write journals, and this is a place to store.
Was it to-do list?
I am trying to think.
They have so many templates there. I swear I saw it when it was on your screen.
Sorry, weekly agenda. Sorry, here it is. It's right in front of my eyes. So in this is the simplest template that I use to manage my week, about what are the things I'm going to finish this week. And I try to keep not more than 3 things, So scrolling on Facebook and networking on LinkedIn is not included. It's really your top 3 tasks of the day that you would want to get done no matter what. And, good thing is that, for example, let's say you planned to do the board meeting decks on Tuesday. If you are not able to do it, you can just simply drag it on Wednesday. And then, under picking up clean, So you could really create a new to-do list out of it, or put it under, let's say, call with Mary, right? So that's the beauty of this, that it's so malleable, in absence of any other word, like the way it interacts with different widgets, if I may use that word.
Malleable, like you can make it anything you want.
Yes, exactly. So for example, this lunch, which was meant on Friday, has to be done on Tuesday. All you need to do is just bring this out there. No need to change things around in a calendar, make it bulky, whatever. These are simple tasks, right? For example, the baby shower can move from Thursday to the weekend, right? And the founder meetup needs to happen today or like on Monday. Maybe it's part of the weekly meeting, so it goes under the weekly meeting. And maybe under the weekly meeting, then you need to do 3 things. Founder meetup, checklist, and let's say brand design, right? So these are the things that you need to do. So you can create it under that, and then as soon as you finish them, you can strike them off a to-do list.
The other thing I like about this is when you're in Google's calendar, like when to reschedule something, let's say it takes, measure how many clicks it takes. Think about how many clicks it takes you in your phone, Apple Calendars, Google Calendar to actually reschedule something. Usually it's a lot. You use Microsoft, their suite of products. It's like brutal. It's just dragging and dropping. So there's actually, you don't even click, you just drag.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like how you shift information in your mind, right? Okay, it's not on Tuesday. It needs to be done on Thursday. So you've just done exactly that. You've just dragged that information on your digital mind, digital brain, and moved it there.
I like that.
Yeah.
What else did you have on the? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying that you can also, like, for example, turn it into a page, right? So while it's a to-do list, if you need to like add a sub page in it, right? You can add a sub page, and then when you open it, you can write more things. Let's say, for example, this is your grocery shopping, right? So you don't want to, where did we go? You don't want to go grocery shopping, keep the grocery shopping here, and then the list somewhere else. You can just create a sub page and just put the list in underneath it, right? Make sense?
I love it. And you have resources there as well.
Yeah, I have resources. So let's get back to So we finished this. So you see what I'm doing with Notion also. I'm showing you how we are progressing in this workshop from not started to in progress to completed. So, if you have like a list of things that you need to kind of move, this is a Kanban form, which is used
Yes.
commonly in a lot of other productivity apps also. And then under resources, the best resource are Notion's own YouTube channel. It's almost school in itself to learn best every possible use case that you could think of in Notion. You can. So what I have done is I've just copied the link and embedded it. So you can just click right away from here. You don't need to copy from there and go to the website. So, and this is their Notion, their YouTube channel, and
So
various
really,
playlists.
sorry, really quickly, we have 20 minutes left.
Yeah.
If anyone has any questions around what kind of use cases or templates, just drop that in the Q&A. We're actually going to search live for some templates on here and see if there's any of those use cases. I noticed there's a marketing bucket. So I wouldn't mind before logging off here just to see what's in the marketing bucket on Notion from a template standpoint.
Okay, sure. So this is what I was suggesting, that the other is that they have Notion guides on the website itself.
Yeah.
And these were two resources, will that will actually suffice most of your requirements in managing your personal productivity.
And we
And
can email those out as well
yeah.
afterwards.
Okay, sure, definitely. And then coming back to templates, so depending on what you do, some of the use cases for design. So, for example, you are a designer. What does a roadmap look like from a design point of view? Which is not started, who is responsible, what is the task, what are the various tags for it. You can add all of that in a very simple and quick format. And then there's a user research database depending on what you are designing, design tasks depending on where they stand, meeting notes. This is the best because it allows you to actually filter what that meeting was it weekly sync or a stand-up meeting or actually for design system. So over time, if you want to know what has been discussed in the weekly meetings, all you need to do is just sort based on type, right? So all the ad hoc. So it's this right now. It has been filtered or sorted in the alphabetical order. So you will get all the ad hoc meetings together, all the design systems together, all the weekly meetings. You could also sort them by date, right? So created. So based on the dates. So that was one. The other is education. So if you are a student, if you want to take notes, you can go, you have various classes. Let's say these are your different credits that you are taking. You can make notes for each of those credits, right, within each other. Similar, we went through job applications already, grade calculator. If you are very social and you want to keep a tab on all the clubs and committees that you're part of, you can keep all of that here. We've already discussed the reading list, right? Thesis planning at the end of your term, all the things that you need to do, the research, the chapters, the conclusion, what stage is it at, what are the sources of your information, because obviously you want to refer all the sources that you have in the appendix. So it helps you to keep a tab of it. So while you're still writing the thesis on a Word document, or you can break it down into various steps that need to be achieved. So you see this thesis is expected to be completed between August 1st and August 31st, and everything that is required before that, and then presentation and defense, right? So that's fantastic. The notes system, how do you take notes for various subjects? Personal CRM, we went through that, with your colleague, classmates. Who are they? What are they doing? Are they family? Are they professionals? What was the last update? Roommate space when you're studying, when you're out, right? Important way to split the bills equally and make sure, everybody's happy.
I think a few of us, our minds just exploded. I don't have roommates anymore, but this is amazing because everyone wonders, like, okay, what are everyone's responsibilities? So
yeah.
I love this.
Yeah. Another tip that I'll give you, a very good app that I use for splitting cost is Splitwise. So, it's not part of the Notion universe, but you can download it on Android and iPhone. It's called Splitwise, which helps you to split expenses. Let's say you've gone out and to pay between friends and things like that. It helps you ease your transactions. Then this is a simple budget. Let's say you have a $3,500 budget for the month. What do you do? How do you spend? And things like that. So you see, for example,
let's go to the marketing. I just want to see the marketing tab real
sure,
quick because we
absolutely.
only have a
So
little bit.
in marketing, there are like different things. First, like the brand assets. What are the various logos that you have for the organization? What are the different imageries that you could use? What are the fonts that so you can really actually, let's, for example, this is the Roboto Bold font, and you can actually download the font file, right? So it's easy to share it with people. All you need to do is just go back and you can share this template when you open this as a page. You can just share, and I can send it to Josh at General Assembly, and he can actually see all this content and download those things. So you're not actually sending heavy files, trying to see whether they've reached it. Use Dropbox or something like that. Meeting notes, something that we've discussed already. Media lists, if you are in media or communications, who are the journalists, whom which organization, what did you speak about, what is the status, will they do the interview, or it will not work. Timelines, link if it's already published. Content calendar, this is something that I use for one of my volunteering positions, where I prepare a weekly calendar and I share it with them, and then we discuss it like it is. For example, there's the image of this. We will write down what the post content will be, what are the tags, when it will be published, and the works. And then a mood board, if you're, let's say, planning a new project or an idea. So what kind of imagery you want to use and things like that.
And mood boards are super important for those that don't know. If you're starting a business and you want to understand, okay, what does my business stand for, my brand stand for, you can bring in everything that kind of you like and put it in this place. It might even be a good area if you're doing, like, let's say a kitchen renovation. You could go on Pinterest or Instagram and pull in like all the different content you like.
Absolutely. And then within each of the mood board, for example, let's say neon signage, you want to put like a signage which says, cooking today kind of a thing. You can actually put down the list of suppliers that you found online, their numbers, their contact details, and
pricing.
Then the pricing. So you can create a table of their pricing and then sort it to see who's giving you the best deal in terms of pricing as well as quality.
And maybe one other thing, let's go to the human resources tab.
Yeah.
And last call, if there's anyone that has any specific questions or use cases, drop it in. And yeah, let's see HR here.
Yeah. So HR job board, for example, what are the jobs that the company has? What are the positions under engineering, under design? What is the location? What is the date? So various positions. You can keep track of the jobs. If you are working in HR, you can keep track of the jobs that you are hiring for. Meeting notes. One of the things that you can do here is, for example, let's say you are hiring a full stack engineer, right? So you can actually, this is all the job description, responsibilities, qualifications, etc. The other thing that you can do is create a page here. Okay, page, and then you can write applicants, right? And then you can actually list the applicants, maybe make it in a table format, or put the resumes that you receive. Remember, you can always upload embed PDFs, for example, or Word documents. So you can just add a file and upload it here. So you have all the applicants, you have the job description, right? You have the job. If it was left to me, I would put all the job description in a page and put it up here, and then I'll have all the applicants underneath it. So you can do that. Meeting notes is similar to the ones that we've seen before, but relating to benefits, people, recruiting, culture, screens for people, hiring new board. new hire onboarding. So these are the people, what do you need to do? Like this onboarding was done, what are the things that you need to achieve in each of those? It also has an applicant tracker. So maybe you can create different trackers for different positions, and you can put those cards in each of these. And let's say, Kim was screened and she was good for round one, and Carrie was good for was good for an offer. So you can really, see progress on how many people made it to the final 10, top 10 who were screened. And the best part is that you can always keep this, so that next time you're looking for a similar position, you don't need to go out. You can just see, okay, while Kim was really good, she did not get the offer, but we can maybe consider her for this next position because, she cleared these two things. So that also saves you your effort going forward. And then company home. So from an HR point of view, things that you would need on a regular basis: mission, vision, values, goals, employee directory, who's working with us, what's their profile, the works. So yeah, I mean, I think for a lot of jobs, the templates are just ready to go. For others, they just need a little bit of tweaking, and you can use it for your both personal and professional productivity.
I love this. So the big thing for me was the community there on Slack, but also just people contributing templates, kind of like an open source in an open source way. I think that's super cool. Cool. Is there any kind of last thoughts? How did you find this app? And like in your day to day, what do you use it most for?
Okay, so I found this app on a LinkedIn comment. Someone had basically asked a question about how good is Notion, and someone I know actually commented on it. So it got me curious. I am always seeking the most efficient way to do things. Am I the most productive all the time? I don't want to claim that, but I try to find tools that can help me do things better, faster, so that I can be out a lot more than I am right now. So I saw a video. It was about 15 minutes on Notion, and I was sold. And in the beginning, I was a bit concerned how I will transfer my data from my previous app to this. But
what did you use previously?
I used Evernote.
Evernote, okay. And then there's also like Asana. Asana's kind of in this bucket.
Yeah, exactly. So I used Evernote for a long time. I think I would say 5 years, and Google Docs in some capacity. But I was always shifting between an Evernote, Trello, or Google Docs, right? What I loved about Notion is that I could do all of these things without without changing windows. And in the beginning, I was a bit concerned that all the work that I have on Evernote for so many years, how will I manage that? But thankfully, Notion has an integration, a few clicks, and most of your Evernote is on your Notion.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for walking it through. This is a brand new tool, and I know you wanted to get on and kind of share a bit about this tool, and you did a great job of walking us through the different use cases. I'm going to drop your LinkedIn in the chat. You're a great person on LinkedIn. Part of why I was excited to do this with you is because you're such a great personality on LinkedIn, and I think that's super cool. I'm also going to drop my own LinkedIn in the chat, so add me up. I host GA live streams. I see some familiar faces from time to time. Let me know how it went. Just DM me. And if you also want to be on a GA live stream, happy to set that up with others. There'll be more Notion content coming now that I'm in the Notion community. I'm going to see other designers, marketers. We're going to bring in, job searchers, everyone to kind of different perspectives on this app and see how everyone uses it. And
in December, I'm actually doing a workshop with another organization about how to use Notion for marketing. So, great. Because marketers need to collaborate, especially now that work from home is becoming so common. So doing prototypes or mood boards or, initial plans. So maybe we can have another chat.
Absolutely. Let's do it then. What any final thoughts that you want to say to the community, and what's kind of the next few months to the end of the year have in store for you? Yeah.
So firstly, I would like to say that Notion is your best friend in the way that you can mold it the way you work. You don't have to fit to Notion. You don't have to fit Notion. Notion will fit to you. It will fit to your design sense. It will fit to your schedule, the way you organize stuff, and try one template at a time. And it's a very smooth ride, extremely easy to use and very intuitive. So I would say that try it. For the next few months, I am planning to really take stock of things that I wanted to do in 2020 but could not. So trying to really assess what's good, what I want to achieve for 2021, and just set some milestones that need to be achieved, all on Notion.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for those that joined us and stuck in the room. We had 10 loyal guests here at least, if not more, to just talk through this app. And I do these streams to bring new tools to people because, hey, if it can help someone else on the stream, do something more productive or accomplish something this year, I will have considered this a very large success. So thank you, everyone. Have a great evening, and we'll see you on the next GA stream. Thanks, Gunjan, for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
See ya.